God says, you keep asking for signs. This is it. The person you've been dreaming of is real, and their name is hidden in this message. Tonight, at the small hour between midnight and dawn, a holy hinge in heaven's clock, a window is opening that does not swing wide often. It is not a whisper of rumor nor the stirring of human imagination, but the clear and unmistakable voice of the Lord. For many nights you have pleaded, give me a sign, confirm what I sense, prove that what I long for is not illusion. Now, the heavens lean low, and the answer is here. God speaks, not to the crowd, but to you. This message is not ordinary. This hour is not casual. The very ache of your heart has summoned the attention of eternity, and in this moment, what you have been asking is being answered. The room is still. The lamps of the world burn low. A trembling hand rests upon the pages of Scripture, while angels circle in silence, guarding the word about to be released. Michael himself stirs the embers of a promise that has long lain hidden, for the moment has come to breathe fire upon it again. You have cried out for a sign, and tonight the sign is given. The person who has walked through your dreams, the face that has flickered in the edges of your visions, is no figment of imagination. They are real, and their name is hidden within this message, waiting to be uncovered by the one who listens with reverent silence. But hear this. This revelation is not for every ear. Many will pass by and hear only words. But if your spirit feels the hush, if something inside you pauses and leans closer, then this word is meant for you. Stillness is required. Purity of attention is demanded. You must confess the impatience that has grown within you, lay down the frantic searching, and come into quiet. For only in the sacred hush will the name reveal itself. The weight of this revelation is no small thing. It has the power to heal longings or to break false attachments. It has the authority to shift relationships, to call forth destinies, to awaken endings and beginnings. Mystery remains, for God does not give cheaply what is holy. The name is hidden, veiled, a treasure locked behind silence. It will not be found by rushing eyes, but by waiting hearts. Lean in. The window is open. The Spirit calls you now. Quiet your devices. Still your breath. Take a pen and paper, for heaven is speaking, and you will want to remember every impression. This is your hour. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1177 is now released over you. You keep asking for signs. This is it. These words thunder forth from the heart of God Himself, not as a suggestion, not as a riddle, but as a declaration. Let them strike you as both fire and balm, a lightning bolt and a healing touch. The heavens have heard your relentless prayers, the whispered pleas in the dark, the bargaining of your weary soul. And now, before sunrise, before the clamor of the day returns, the voice of God cuts through the silence to confirm what you feared was only imagination. The one you have dreamed of exists. The name you have longed to hear rests hidden in this very message. The time is narrow, the hour is holy. Between midnight and dawn, while the world lies in slumber, eternity opens its gates. This is not coincidence, not mere timing. It is divine orchestration. Before the noise returns, Before distractions invade your spirit again, heaven has chosen to speak. Do not let this moment pass as though it were ordinary. Not everyone will hear. Not every ear is tuned to this frequency. Only those who enter with humility, with trembling awe, will recognize the sacredness of what is being spoken now. Through Michael and the host who watch with burning eyes, the Lord declares that His word is not vague. It is sharp. It is direct. It is for the one who has been waiting, aching, wondering if their longing was folly. Hear the directive clearly. Stop bargaining. Stop trying to twist God's hand with deals and deadlines. Be still. Receive. For tonight, the gift is not earned through effort, but given through surrender. You have carried the burden of loneliness, walking through nights where shadows felt closer than comfort. You have stared at faces, trying to decide if one belonged to your destiny, only to be left with confusion. And now, suddenly, almost scandalously, God breaks the silence. The dream of one is real, and the name of that one lies encoded here. Not in flashing neon, not in cheap spectacle, but hidden in reverent syllables for the seeker who knows how to wait. Listen with your spirit as the sensory tapestry unfolds. Hear the sound of wings brushing the air around you, the flutter of unseen guardians marking this moment. Taste the honeyed sweetness of promise that lingers on your tongue, as though a banquet were being prepared in secret. Feel the warmth of a divine palm pressed against your weary heart, stilling its frantic rhythm, reminding you that you are not forsaken. Every detail speaks. Every silence resounds. Now, let me ask you, deep to deep, are you ready to be known? Are you ready to be unmade and remade in the same breath? For when God reveals what He has hidden, it does not simply comfort. It transforms. The question before you is not whether you desire the promise, but whether you are willing to bear the weight of it. Are you willing to be stretched, broken open, and reforged into one who can carry the covenant? The name rests here, beneath syllables, between pauses, hidden like treasure in a field. It will not be handed casually. It must be sought with stillness, uncovered with reverence. The mystery is deliberate, for God delights in the heart that seeks, not the eyes that skim. And so, the invitation is before you. Quiet your breath, open your palms, release your need to control, and prepare to obey even when bewildered. The voice now lowers, the volume of heaven softens. Let the hush linger, for the holy moment is upon you. This is not simply a word, it is a summons. Do not leave the threshold. Stay here. Receive what has been reserved for this very hour. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2211 is now active over your life. The nights you have walked through have not been empty, though they often felt endless. You have closed your eyes and seen faces that blurred like smoke, names whispered half-formed in the corridors of your dreams. The ache has followed you into waking hours, heavy as an unspoken question. Is this real, or am I chasing a shadow? There are moments when you wake with tears on your cheeks, unable to explain the weight pressing on your chest. You dismiss it, only for it to return the next night, sharper, stronger, undeniable. Your spirit has known what your mind refused to admit, that something, someone, is drawing near. But alongside the whispers of heaven, there have been other voices. Gossip has circled like carrion birds, words spoken by those who never understood your longing. Envious eyes have watched you from the corners, cataloging your movements, whispering your name with tones not of blessing but of judgment. You have felt the sting of being observed, of being measured by those who cannot comprehend the secret weight of your calling. And worse still, you have felt the inner confusion, the déjà vu moments that arrive uninvited, like a memory half-lived. You meet a stranger and feel as though you have spoken before. You hear a song and suddenly it halts your breath, pulling you into a moment that feels eternal. Someone knows more than they are saying. Somewhere in the shadows, there is a ledger, moments of your life recorded, patterns noted, pieces of you observed. This has stirred suspicion in your heart. You wonder who has seen the truth before you, who may already know the name you are still waiting to uncover. And this suspicion feeds your unrest, making you question every sign, every face, every word spoken over you. In these fragile hours, not every sign has been holy. Counterfeits have risen to cloud your vision. Manipulators, cloaked in false confirmation, have spoken words they claim to be from God, but their fruit is sour. They mimic revelation, but their intent is control, not clarity. And this has left you even more vulnerable, torn between hope and despair, afraid of deception yet desperate for truth. Hear me now. Your unrest is not a flaw, it is a sign. It proves that you are sensitive to the movement of the Spirit, that you refuse to settle for what is false. God has seen your longing, and He validates the ache within you. Listen carefully. They are closer than you think. The one you dream of is not far off in some unreachable horizon, but nearer than your anxious heart dares to hope up. And yet, they are closer than they want you to know. Heaven shields their steps, keeping them veiled until the time is right. This delay is not denial. It is protection. But it leaves you restless, searching for signals in the smallest details. Do not ignore these details. Journal the impressions. Write down the names that surface unbidden in your prayers. Record the numbers, the scents, the fragments of memory that intrude upon your stillness. These are not accents. They are breadcrumbs laid upon your path. Even the smallest sensation can be a key if handled with reverence. Yet alongside revelation, betrayal has lurked. Trusted circles have shifted their tone. Smiles that once carried warmth now feel strained, shallow, masking another agenda. You feel the sting of being misunderstood, the pain of being doubted, even mocked for the very sensitivity that makes you a vessel of promise. The enemy has always sought to cloud holy signals with earthly noise. And now comes the rebuke of heaven. Do not let the noise steal the signal. The betrayal, the whispers, the counterfeits, they cannot drown the truth unless you let them. Guard your ear. Guard your heart. For the name is here, hidden, waiting, shimmering beneath the surface of words. Silence the chaos, and it will rise to meet you. Type "I am awakened" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3344 is surrounding you now. Beloved, if this word has pierced your heart, if you feel heaven's confirmation stirring in you, then know this. You are not only hearing for yourself, but you are part of a greater mission. Every seed you sow into this ministry becomes a flame, that lights another soul's night, a voice that declares God's truth to those who sit in silence. I feel led to tell you, your gift is not just support, it is an act of prophecy. It is sowing into harvest, oil poured out that multiplies. God says, when you open your hand, I open the heavens. I invite you to step into this divine flow. Use Super Thanks, membership, or even the PayPal link in the description. Each act fuels the river of God's word flowing wider and farther. Those who give tonight, I bless your seed as a key, a prophetic act that unlocks alignment in your own life. Do not delay. Move as the Spirit stirs. What you are facing is not merely confusion of the heart or tricks of the mind. It is the evidence of a deeper war. Your sleepless nights, your unanswered questions, your restless spirit, these are not random struggles. They are the front lines of a battle waged between heaven and the adversary, between destiny and delay. Earthly shadows are but the tip of an unseen conflict, and the tension you feel in your relationships, your thoughts, and even in your dreams is proof that something sacred is at stake. The longing for the one you have dreamed of is not simply romance, it is covenant. And covenant always attracts conflict, for covenant is dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. The enemy's tactics have always been the same. Sow doubt, stir delay, and create counterfeit comforts. He sends distractions dressed as opportunities, words wrapped in flattery, but empty of substance, signs that imitate revelation but lead only to dead ends. He seeks to weary you, to make you question if the ache within you is foolishness. Yet even in this struggle, heaven is not silent. The trials you face are not punishment, but pruning. They are designed to strip away illusions, to sharpen your discernment, to refine your spirit so that when the true promise arrives, you will recognize it without hesitation. Do not despise the testing. You are targeted not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. The pressure you feel is not proof of abandonment, but evidence of destiny. The one you dream of is part of a divine alignment, and the adversary knows that if you step into covenant at the right time, a chain reaction of blessing will be unleashed. That is why resistance rises. That is why confusion clouds. Heaven has not overlooked you. Rather, you are being watched closely. Every tear recorded not as shame, but as testimony. The courts of heaven hold your name as evidence, and angels are dispatched not in pity but in protection. Picture the battlefield and the sanctuary together. The world is a field of war, but heaven is your command center. You are not left wandering without guidance. You are surrounded by unseen allies. When you feel weakest, armies are encircling you. When you fall silent, your silence itself becomes a weapon, frustrating the schemes of the enemy. Do not mistake stillness for passivity. Stillness is strategy. Heaven fights when you refuse to be baited by chaos. Every prayer you whisper, every moment you restrain your tongue, every time you choose peace over panic, you strike a blow against the enemy's plan. This is why obedience matters more than spectacle. Do not wait for flashing signs or instant miracles to prove God's hand. Miracles often arrive in small, quiet steps, a door gently opening, a word spoken in season, a subtle confirmation in Scripture that pierces deeper than thunder. These are not lesser miracles. They are the very fabric of your unfolding covenant. The hidden name you seek is not a trick, not a game. It is a spiritual marker, a key tied to your calling and destiny. When God entrusts you with this name, it will not just satisfy longing, it will activate purpose. So watch your posture, guard your speech, steward your emotions. Every restraint you practice disarms another scheme. Silence, when chosen with faith, is louder than 1,000 declarations. Patience, when rooted in trust, crushes the strategies of delay. And as you yield, know this: you are not yielding alone. Behind your consent, a chorus rises. Angels align, their voices harmonizing with your surrender, their strength amplifying your small steps of obedience. You are not fighting in vain. You are moving in rhythm with heaven. So be calm, be vigilant, be steady. Do not panic when the storm swells. Do not break when the silence stretches. For every trial you endure, heaven is gathering evidence, weaving your restraint into victory. The conflict is real, but the outcome is already assured. Stand still and see the salvation of your God. Type "I am guarded" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 4488 is now active over your life. The air is shifting. Heaven has sounded the alarm, and a window of movement is now upon you. Within the next 72 hours, yes, in this very stretch of days, pieces will begin to realign. This is not a vague impression. It is a divine escalation. The Spirit is whispering that something hidden will surface. Someone concealed will step closer. Some word unspoken will suddenly find its voice. The tide is turning, and you are being summoned to watch with vigilance, for the hour of movement is here. Listen carefully. You will notice it not through chaos, but through subtle disruptions. Allegiances shifting, doors opening where they were once locked, people reappearing as if summoned by the unseen. There is one who lingers at the edges, repositioning themselves in the background of your life. Do not assume malice, for sometimes fear drives their hesitance, but recognize that their steps are not accidental. Every movement now is charged with meaning. A knock will come, perhaps on your door, perhaps on the door of your heart, and you must discern not only the sound but the timing. The Spirit prepares you with foreshadowing. A sudden knock in the night, an unexpected message that stirs forgotten memories, a dream that no longer feels fragmented, but suddenly sharp, resulting into a face you recognize. These are not to frighten you, but to alert you. Heaven does not want you blindsided. Heaven wants you steady. For in this short span, the atmosphere grows charged with revelation. You must walk wisely, testing each sign with prayer, refusing the impulse to rush where patience has been commanded. Do not let haste become your downfall. Many blessings have been lost to impulsive hands that grab too quickly, confusing timing for confirmation. The adversary would love nothing more than to twist urgency into compromise, to trick you into accepting a counterfeit because you grew weary of waiting for the authentic. But tonight you are warned. Stand your ground. The true sign will not demand desperation. It will carry peace. The true door will not swing open with chaos. It will open with clarity. There will be signals in the days ahead, and they will carry repetition. 3 numbers will echo before you in unlikely places. See them, record them, and ask God for interpretation. An invitation will come, spontaneous and unexpected, calling you into a space you had not considered entering. In a crowd, a recognition will seize you, a moment where your spirit leaps before your mind understands. Do not dismiss these signals. Do not trivialize them. Yet do not broadcast them either. Keep them guarded, for what is holy must be tested in silence before it is shared aloud. Clarity is coming, but it will not arrive through spectacle. Heaven veils revelation so that only the reverent can perceive it. The name remains hidden not to tease you, but to train you. The search itself is refining you, teaching you patience, sharpening your discernment. When the unveiling comes, you will not doubt it, for it will bear the weight of God's presence and the fragrance of His timing. So hear this word: when the knock comes, let it open to God's timing, not your hurry. When the message arrives, let it rest before the Lord before you respond. When the dream resolves into a face, seek confirmation in the Spirit before you move your feet. For urgency is not panic. Urgency is sacred alignment. You are not running after signs. The signs are running toward you. Stand still, and they will find you. Type "I am ready" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 5599 now covers you with divine timing. Hear me now. The greatest weapon you carry in this hour is not frantic striving, but stillness. The heavens are reminding you, be still. Heaven fights when you don't. There is a strategy unfolding that does not depend on your rush, your panic, or your constant effort to hold everything together. The covering of God is not earned by noise, but received in silence. Your role in this moment is not to manufacture outcomes, but to protect the sacred ground of your spirit so that nothing unholy can contaminate the revelation about to come forth. Your protection begins with silence. The world will clamor for your attention, drawing you into endless scrolls, distracting conversations, and fruitless noise. But heaven whispers that you must guard your ear and your tongue. Not every impression is meant to be shared. Not every dream belongs in public spaces. If you reveal too soon what is holy, it becomes vulnerable to ridicule, to envy, to distortion. God calls you to sacred secrecy. Hold the visions close. Keep your circle small. Let your revelations breathe only in the company of those proven in prayer and peace. Sacred boundaries are your shield. This is not the time to give every person access to your inner world. Some will press in with curiosity that is not holy. Others will offer counsel laced with fear or bitterness. Withdraw from the chatter. Limit the voices allowed to speak into your spirit. Protect your anointing as a locked garden, for not every visitor carries honor. The Spirit whispers that even small breaches, casual gossip, careless sharing, premature announcements, can weaken the wall of protection around you. Do not let the enemy exploit loose words. Anchor yourself in rhythm. Protection is found in prayer, not as a performance, but as a steady heartbeat. When the anxiety rises, breathe this two-line invocation. I am sealed in your presence. I move only in your timing. Speak it aloud until your spirit quiets. Let Scripture dwell in your memory, ready to rise like a sword when the darkness presses. Write down impressions, journal encounters, so that nothing slips away. Each word, each image, each small sign is a stone in the altar God is building in your life. This is a time for clarity, and clarity requires withdrawal. Take a holy sabbatical from the noise that competes for your spirit. Step away from spaces that stir comparison, from apps that cheapen covenant into entertainment, from relationships that demand vulnerability without offering covering. This is not hiding. It is strategy. A soldier does not linger exposed on the battlefield. A prophet does not cast pearls before swine. Your withdrawal is not weakness. It is wisdom. Speak aloud protective affirmations, for words carry authority in the unseen realm. Declare, I am sealed. I am guarded. I will not move ahead of God's clock. These are not empty sentences. They are shields, flaming walls in the spirit, encircling you as you wait. Angels respond to declarations rooted in faith, and as you speak, they strengthen their ranks around you. Do not confuse silence with surrender. Silence in this season is active warfare. It disarms the schemes of the adversary. It cuts off gossip before it can ignite. It frustrates the plans of those who would manipulate your revelation. Sleep, too, is a weapon. Rest is not neglect. It is a holy withdrawal where heaven moves while you stand still. Even as you close your eyes, God surrounds you. Dreams carry instruction. Angels guard your dwelling. So breathe, beloved. Step back from the chaos. Guard the treasure entrusted to you. Keep the covenant between your lips and God's ear. For when the unveiling comes, you will stand ready, not scattered, not frantic, but calm, steady, and protected under the shield of the Almighty. Type I am sealed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 6611 now surrounds your spirit with divine protection. Hear this with clarity. You are no longer who they assumed you to be. The days of shrinking back, of questioning your own worth, of feeling unworthy of the visions God has planted within you, are over. The season of trembling under the weight of longing has shifted. The very ache that once left you vulnerable has become the furnace that forged your discernment. The hunger that made you question yourself has been redeemed as strength. What once weakened you has now become the foundation of your empowerment. Heaven declares tonight, you are rising, but you are not rising as the same person who entered this valley. For too long, you measured yourself by the silence of others, by their inability to affirm your calling or recognize your purity of desire. You let their dismissal define you, their misunderstanding shape your posture. But God says, no longer. The wings that once felt bound are now unfurling. The embers that smoldered quietly in your chest are igniting into fire. You are not small. You are not forgot. You are a seed that has been pressing through stone, hidden underground, breaking in silence until the moment of emergence. That moment is now. Do not despise the journey. Every wound, every night of confusion, every whispered prayer that returned with no answer has been turned into fuel. You are being elevated not in arrogance, but in wisdom. The scars you bear are no longer marks of shame, but holy inoculations, proof that you have endured and now carry authority to recognize deception, to walk with compassion, to speak with courage. What shattered you has become your testimony. What nearly destroyed you has become the reason you will not be shaken again. Now is the time to act in covenant, not in compromise. Empowerment does not mean recklessness. It means stepping into deliberate, holy rhythms that shape your new posture. Set aside 5 minutes each day for prophetic stillness. Let that space be the altar where heaven continues to whisper. Speak vows aloud, declarations of who you are and who you will not be again. Say, I am chosen. I am guarded. I walk in covenant, not confusion. These vows become the stones of a new foundation. This empowerment is not born in spectacle but in disciplines that carry fire, obedience when no one applauds, silence when provocation presses, sacrificial patience when shortcuts tempt you. Each act is a seed, and seeds become trees that cannot be moved. Heaven is not asking you to rise in arrogance, but in strength that bows before God even while standing unshakable before men. You will see the evidence soon. Where you once tolerated toxic cycles, you will walk away with steady steps. Where you once blurred boundaries to keep peace, you will now name them with holy authority. Where your prayers were once timid, they will now thunder with clarity, demanding heaven's alignment. You will no longer shrink at misunderstanding, for you will recognize persecution not as punishment, but as a prelude to promotion. The opposition you face will become confirmation that you carry weight. So rise, but rise with wisdom. Rise, but rise clothed in humility. Rise, but rise knowing that the fire inside you was not given to burn bridges, but to light paths. You are shifting into empowerment not for yourself alone, but for the covenant to come, for the one whose name lies hidden, for the destiny that demands your maturity. Heaven is raising you as a pillar, not a reed. Stand firm. The time of empowerment has begun. Type I am rising in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7722 now clothes you with power and wisdom. The veil is thinning, and the purpose of your trials is coming into focus. What you endured was never meant to break you. It was meant to unlock you. The tears you wept, the confusion you carried, the long nights where silence felt like abandonment, all of it was a refining fire, designed to prepare you for alignment. Heaven whispers now that the storms you thought would scatter you were, in truth, guiding you into place, drawing you toward a convergence of destiny and covenant. This is the reason you were pressed, the reason you were delayed, the reason you were tested. God was not withholding, He was orchestrating. Hear this clearly. The hidden name you seek is not a casual detail. It is a covenantal key. When discovered, it does not simply identify a person. It unlocks a season. It signals that the time of acceleration has arrived. The mechanics of heaven are simple yet profound. Alignment, timing, and obedience are the ingredients of unlocking. When all three converge, the door that was sealed begins to swing open. What looked like delay was choreography. What felt like loss was preparation. What seemed like silence was strategy. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are in sync with a divine rhythm that often hides itself until the moment of unveiling. Imagine two rivers flowing separately through valleys, carving their own paths, seemingly unrelated. Then, At the appointed time, they meet, merging into one mighty stream. That is what God has been doing with your life, and the life of the one you dream of. Both were being prepared, refined, guided through bends and obstacles, until the hour when their waters converge. That hour draws near. Do not think this revelation is a reward for your perfection. It is not earned by flawless performance. It is recognition of your persistence, your refusal to quit, your faithfulness in the small things when no one was watching. God honors what others overlook. Your endurance has been counted as faith, and heaven responds to faith. This is why the door is unlocking now. This is why the name begins to rise from within the words you are hearing. Picture the imagery, a door unlatched, treasures returning to hands that once lost them, a crown placed where ashes once lay. The Spirit declares, this is your unlocking. Step toward it with reverent feet. Yet even in this moment of revelation, caution remains. Do not seize the blessing as entitlement. Receive it as empowerment. The covenant is not for your ego. It is for your destiny. The name revealed is not simply to comfort your longing, but to confirm your calling. It is tied to assignment, to purpose, to the unfolding of what heaven has destined for your life. So lean in now, not with grasping hands, but with open palms. Listen for the impression stirring in your heart, the subtle echo that repeats itself like a drumbeat beneath the words. The name is not shouted from the heavens. It is written within your spirit. Quiet yourself, and you will find it rising, like a flame long buried but never extinguished. This is not imagination. It is revelation. The mystery you carry is becoming sight, and heaven invites you to recognize it, honor it, and walk in it with reverence. Type "I am unlocked" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 8899 is now releasing acceleration over your life. Beloved, as this revelation pierces through, remember, this message is not just for you. It is a trumpet for souls across the world. Every time you stand with this ministry, through super thanks, membership, or by sowing directly through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding words, you are fueling destinies. The Word of God flows like living water, and your seed becomes a channel through which others are refreshed. I declare over you now, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Your act of faith is not a donation. It is a prophetic unlocking, tying your generosity to the very acceleration being released. Those who sow into this stream will reap not just provision, but revelation. Do not hold back when heaven is inviting you to release. This is your moment to act, and heaven will honor it. The hour has come to move from revelation into activation. You have heard the whispers, you have felt the confirmations, you have carried the weight of mystery, but revelation without action is unfinished. Heaven waits not only for your listening ear, but for your obedient yes. Your destiny is not passive. It requires participation. You stand now on holy ground, the threshold between knowing and doing, between receiving and stepping. The Spirit declares, it is time to activate. This activation begins with your own words. Your mouth carries authority. Your declarations shift the unseen realm. Speak aloud the truths you know heaven has stamped upon your life. Say, I am chosen. them aligned. I will not miss my appointed time. These affirmations are not empty chants. They are legal decrees in the courts of heaven. Angels respond to them. Demons recoil from them. Your own spirit strengthens under them. Every declaration you make becomes a seed planted in the soil of destiny, and seeds, once planted, cannot be unseen. Yet words alone are not enough. Action must follow alignment. Heaven calls you to small but courageous steps. Do not look for the spectacular. Look for the obedient. Set aside 10 minutes each day for listening silence, where you invite no noise, only the whisper of God. Write a covenant, not for others' eyes, but for God's, promising that you will walk in patience, in truth, in discernment. This covenant becomes your anchor, reminding you when storms rise that your yes is already spoken. Take one act of bold honesty this week, a confession, a release, a boundary drawn, and let that act signal to heaven that you are serious about alignment. Destiny activation is not reckless rushing. It is measured obedience. Do not run ahead of what God reveals, but do not stay paralyzed in fear either. Walk in rhythm, silence, discernment, obedience. This is the threefold pattern heaven gives to you now. Silence allows the Spirit to speak. Discernment separates truth from counterfeit. Obedience unlocks doors that were sealed. If you remain faithful to this rhythm, acceleration will come naturally, without striving, without forcing. You are not called to walk alone. The Spirit is urging you to gather 2 or 3 allies in prayer, not casual acquaintances, but proven intercessors who carry peace. Share your impressions not with many, but with the few who will stand guard with you. Destiny is too heavy to be carried by isolation. Heaven surrounds you with chosen ones who can confirm, protect, and cover what you carry. When 2 or 3 agree, heaven records their agreement and enforces it. Find your circle and let them stand as watchmen over your unfolding season. Remember also the danger of impulsive declarations. Do not proclaim aloud what God has whispered in secret until He releases you to do so. Some revelations must remain hidden until their time, for premature exposure invites attack. Test every step with prayer. Anchor every move in counsel, and do not confuse excitement with permission. Destiny is not built in frenzy but in faithfulness. So rise now into activation. Speak your decrees. Write your covenant. Take your step of honesty. Gather your circle. And let heaven see your yes in motion. For heaven is waiting, and when you move, the rest will respond. Destiny does not chase the hesitant. It accelerates with the obedient. You are not a bystander to your promise. You are a co-laborer with God. Move now, and watch as heaven moves with you. Type "I am activated" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 9933 now propels you into your destiny. While you sleep, heaven speaks. While your tears fall quietly onto your pillow, unseen and unacknowledged by men, heaven records them as evidence in the course above. Nothing you have suffered, nothing you have endured in silence, has been wasted. In the unseen realm, a great exchange is taking place. You may not hear it with your ears or see it with your eyes, but the activity of heaven is alive around you even now. Every loss, Every unanswered prayer, every moment you thought forgotten has been gathered, weighed, and placed upon the scales of divine justice. Imagine the courts of heaven, angels standing as witnesses, your name written on scrolls, your prayers rising like incense before the throne. Records are being reviewed. Ledgers were written, verdicts declared. What was stolen from you is being demanded back. What was delayed is being accelerated. What was hidden in the shadows is being pulled into the light. The enemy's claims against you are being overturned, not by your arguments, but by the blood of the Lamb and the testimony of your endurance. Heaven has seen, and heaven is responding. In this exchange, tokens of sorrow are being transformed into crowns of glory. The loneliness that felt unbearable is being converted into capacity for covenant. The silence that once tormented you is being translated into authority in prayer. The very dreams that haunted you with fragments are becoming the language of prophecy, revealing what is to come. What the enemy meant as torment, God is transmuting into treasure. This is the silent exchange. Grief traded for joy, ashes for beauty, despair for hope. Picture this, a key being pulled from the hands of shadows and placed back into yours. A door once locked now yielding to your touch. The debts written against you erased by divine decree. Every moment you thought wasted is being repaid with interest. Heaven is not unjust. Heaven is not slow. Heaven is precise, and heaven always balances the scales in its time. But this exchange is not forced upon you. It requires your consent. Faith is your signature in the courts of heaven. Praise is your seal of agreement. Obedience is the ink that finalizes the decree. The transaction may be invisible, but it is no less real. As you whisper yes, as you lift your voice in surrender, the transfer completes. Peace replaces panic. Strength replaces weariness. Sometimes the restoration will come internally, a stillness you cannot explain. Sometimes it will manifest externally, as relationships restored, opportunities reopened, promises resurfacing at the appointed hour. Both are valid. Both are real. Both testify that heaven has acted on your behalf. So tonight, rest in this assurance. Nothing is lost. What the adversary tried to bury is being unearthed. What he tried to destroy is being rebuilt. What he tried to claim is being wrested from his grip. This is not a battle you fight alone. This is not a negotiation you must argue through. This is heaven's courtroom, and the judge is righteous. The verdict is being spoken over you, restoration, alignment, covenant fulfilled. Let your heart unclench. Let your spirit breathe. You are not empty. You are being replenished. You are not forgotten. You are being remembered. Every tear has been counted. Every sigh has been heard. Every longing has been written down. The silent exchange is complete, and soon the visible fruit will testify of the invisible transaction. Type "I am restored" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1144 now releases the divine exchange into your life. Justice is moving. You may not see it yet with your natural eyes, but in the unseen, the scales are tipping. Heaven has heard the cry of your spirit, the lament of your soul, and the judge of all the earth rises to respond. What was spoken against you, what was stolen from you, what was twisted to wound you, none of it has gone unnoticed. Every betrayal, every careless word, every unjust delay has been gathered and placed upon the scales of divine balance. And now, heaven decrees, reversal has begun. This is not vengeance, for vengeance belongs to the Lord alone. This is not your hand striking back. This is God Himself rectifying what the enemy sought to ruin. Spiritual justice is not petty retribution. It is holy order being restored. What was crooked is being straightened. What was buried is being unearthed. What was withered is being replanted with fruit that multiplies. The Lord is not slow in keeping His promises, but precise in His timing, and now His timing declares that the season of reversal is here. You will see the signs in subtle and sudden ways. Relationships that fractured will find pathways to restoration, not because of manipulation, but because heaven intervenes. Influence that was stripped from you will be returned. Doors that closed in your face will reopen, and opportunities you thought were lost forever will reappear, this time prepared for you to walk through with strength. What was used to shame you will be turned into the very stage upon which God reveals His glory. Hear this prophetic symbol. The scales of justice are not static. They are moving, tipping in your favor, weighted by your prayers, by your faith, by the endurance that refused to collapse under trial. The harvest is returning, and it comes pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The ruins you sat among will not remain barren. They are already sprouting with shoots of green, proof that the seed of your tears has taken root. Yet as reversal comes, heaven issues a warning. Do not exploit the blessing for pride. The restoration is holy, and it must be stewarded with humility. When favor comes disguised in ordinary moments, do not boast as though it were your doing. Instead, give thanks and steward it well. Extend mercy where others would withhold it. Show grace even to those who misunderstood you, for mercy multiplies what justice restores. Pride will fracture the blessing. Humility will multiply it. Remember this truth: justice is not delayed forever. The cosmos itself bends to the will of the Creator, and everything conspires on behalf of the faithful. The tables are turning, not in chaos, but in perfect order. The enemy may have thought he silenced you, but the Lord is writing a reversal that will echo louder than your pain. Favor will find you disguised as ordinary, in a handshake, in a phone call, in a conversation that feels casual but carries divine weight. Heaven loves to dress the miraculous in the garments of the mundane, so that only the discerning recognize its worth. So stand still and watch. You do not need to scheme for revenge. You do not need to force the outcome. Justice is already in motion, and the reversal is certain. Heaven decrees it, the angels enforce it, and your spirit bears witness to it. The days of loss are closing, and the season of reversal is opening. Trust it. Receive it. Walk in it with reverence, for the God of justice has spoken. Type "I am vindicated" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 5566 now activates justice and reversal in your life. Beloved, the message is complete, and the word of the Lord stands. You have been asking for a sign, and heaven declares that this is it. The one you have dreamed of is real. The longing of your heart has not been fantasy. It has been prophecy. The name has been hidden here, carried like treasure within these words, waiting for your spirit to uncover it in reverence. What was once uncertainty is now confirmation. What was once silence is now revelation. God has answered, and his answer is sure. Take this with peace. You are sealed, you are seen, and you are sent. No weapon formed against your destiny will prosper. No counterfeit will deceive you, for discernment now flows through you like living water. The ache that once tormented you is now holy fuel, guiding you to recognize the covenant meant for you. You are not walking blind, you are walking guided. You are not wandering lost, you are walking in alignment. The promise is alive, and its timing is unfolding even now. Let this blessing cover you. May peace steady your heart. May clarity sharpen your vision. May courage strengthen your steps. And may protection encircle you on every side. Let no fear take root in your spirit, for heaven fights for you. Let no confusion cloud your mind, for the Spirit of truth lights your path. And let no delay discourage you, for the appointed time is closer than your anxious heart dares to believe. Seal this moment with declaration. Speak these words aloud. I am chosen. I am protected. I say yes to God's timing. Let these words rise from your lips as an offering, marking the end of confusion and the beginning of alignment. Heaven hears them, angels enforce them, and your spirit is anchored in them. Now, rest. Rest not in despair, but in expectancy. Sleep with assurance that even in your stillness, heaven is working. Rise when you are called. Walk when you are shown, and remain silent until God speaks the name plainly. The hidden name will not remain hidden forever. At the appointed time, it will be revealed without ambiguity, and you will know that the Lord himself has fulfilled his word. Until then, walk in faith. Guard your spirit and carry the holy hush within you. Peace, clarity, and holy surprise are your portion now. The window is open, and heaven has spoken. Type "I am sealed in promise" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7744 now rests upon you with peace and fulfillment. Beloved, as this message closes, the work of God continues. If this word has confirmed your spirit and ignited your faith, then I ask you to partner with heaven's mission. Every gift you sow, through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, becomes more than support. It becomes seed in holy soil. Just as the word has unlocked mysteries in you, your giving unlocks the door for others to hear the same voice of God. The Lord declares, "Those who water others will themselves be watered." As you pour out, heaven pours back, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Do not delay your obedience. Step into this prophetic act now. Release your gift, and let the harvest meet you in ways beyond what you imagine. This is your chance not just to hear the word, but to help carry it to the nations.